Thank you all for coming. My name is Sonia Owens. I'm the Operations Manager and Pollution Control over our Water Quality Department. I'm going to introduce our team, just keep time. Our team from the Health Department is Warkila Tyson Winston. She's the supervisor in water quality. We have Angela Denovi, the Water Quality Coordinator. We have Bailey Bynum, Technical Specialist. London Adams, Technical Specialist, and Veronica Smith, Technical Specialist. I will now turn it over to Warkila Tyson Winston.
I will call the roll. Manuel McLaughlin.
Here.
Frankie Bacon.
Present.
Chet Risenberg. Heather Holtz. Jason Simpson.
Here.
Casey Smith Alexander.
Present.
Tony Fry.
Present.
John Fox. Kimberly Griswold. Present. We have one.
Now we'll turn it over to Kimberly, Chair.
Good morning. The third thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from April 2nd, 2026. Do I have a motion for the approval?
So moved. Second.
I have approval in a second. Okay. Moving on in the agenda, we will move to public comments.
Y'all need to vote.
We'll vote on the approval for the minutes. Yes. All in favor, say yay.
Yeah, raise your hand. Raise your hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 6.
Right, all opposed?
I see none opposed.
All right, minutes approved. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, we have public comments. The limit is 10 speakers to 2 minutes.
Sarah Houston, Protect Our Aquifer. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Sarah Houston, I serve as Executive Director of Protect Our Aquifer. I'm here today to mention a couple things. First off, we had a really great committee meeting, our first one that y'all approved from our special meeting. And Vice Chair Heather is supposed to be reporting out on that today. So if she isn't, I want to give you a little tidbit. What we're trying to do is really build a foundation for the health department to come into its power to manage the groundwater. It was a really big project, a big process. But it really was a good conversation and really thinking about what are those foundational needs around digitizing well documents, and then thinking about the future of, the programs we need to build. And so hopefully there's one to come on that. I only have 2 minutes. But I do want to mention XAI briefly. As you know, that they had promised to build a water reuse facility to get Colossus 1 off of the aquifer. That has been indefinitely paused. And we are asking City Council and to reach out to SpaceX and say in a comment period meeting very publicly why that pause happened and the timeline for restarting. And we really encourage the Groundwater Board to raise your voice about this. Y'all do have authority at least to make statements. And so thinking about a resolution perhaps later this year, if they haven't continue to give us any information about your support of that project and why we need to really think about industrial water reuse as a solution to our drawdown problems here in Shelby County. And last but not least, in the appeals today, one is an irrigation well in that's going to be looking at the Merva aquifer. It's in the floodplain. Again, this is some rule changes that could happen to prevent these applicants even coming to this meeting in the first place, to make sure it is constructed well above the floodplain and it's just done smart. And the other appeal is near a gas station. And that one is a little concerning to us because it looks like there could be potential for contaminant drawdown. So just something to keep in mind in the staff report. So thank you so much.
Next on the agenda, we have appeals.
Okay, before Keela will read a summary of the appeals, before you. But let me have everyone stand, the representative for Steve Madden and the representative for Toufic, Mr. Azar. Sarah, Mr. Azar. The health department staff, please stand. Everyone put your right hand, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Gonna report for the minutes that Heather Holtz, co-chair, has arrived.
The first appeal on the agenda is at 0 Billion Road. The applicant is Steve Madden. Public water is not available to the side of current LGW. The applicant is requesting to utilize a 12-inch case, 750 gallon per minute water production well. The applicant states that the intended use of the well is for agricultural purposes to irrigate crops. The lot is 120.96 acres and the well can meet siting criteria. We noted that the entire property is inside the flood zone. And this is a Class A well.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To the Groundwater Board members, members of Shelby County Health Department, and to our attendees, good morning again. I'm presenting two well sites, the cases that I was privileged to see after. The first one is, I got a chance to inspect 0 Billion Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 38127 on May 11th, 2026. Mr. Madden escorted me off the main road until the side road to park my car. Then we rode on a side-by-side ATV to the proposed location. The terrain was very woody and the trail on the proposed area was very muddy as well. So as you know, it's in a flood zone. The land size is 120.96 acres. The water well proposed size is 62 feet from the property line, 54 feet from the right of way eastway, and 382.7 feet from the nearest lake or similar body of water. The well power source will be notated as a mobile agricultural well generator. The purpose, once again, for this is the land for agricultural purposes to irrigate crops. The reason for denial was, one, is a Class A well. The property is also in the flood zone. And also the owner and the well installer understands the importance of the wellhead being 2 feet above the flood zone, but they're intending to make it 4 feet above the elevation. Also, on this picture, I'm going to show you the flood zone. Where we see right now on the screen in the green area is the flood zone area. The proposed well is approximately right in this facility right here. So, during the visit, it was like I said, it was very muddy, the terrain is very muddy, very woody. The client was very concerned with my safety, so it was very very out there, we was in the middle of nowhere. However, we got the GPS coordinates and everything else, but he's quite aware that this area is in a flood zone. So at this time, do you have any questions from the board?
I do.
Yes,
How did you access the property?
we accessed the property, we had to follow this trail right here.
Side by side, you walk?
No, we had to go by a side-by-side ATV.
What type of crops are there?
At the time right now, it was a clear area, we had to have to clear the area for us to be able to site it.
Just, you don't happen to know what type of crops they intend?
I will allow the client to
Yes.
discuss that with you. Will there be any other questions for me?
Just a question, and it's really just if you can educate me still as a new board member, when we're talking about wells that are in the flood zone, I know you spoke a little bit about what kind of instruction this will be and what the well will look like, but can you kind of give it to me as from a layperson's perspective about what you look at differently around well construction in a flood zone and what kind of requirements are added that's in a flood zone?
So usually when a well is in a flood zone, we look at the wellhead has to be elevated because over 100, we look at 100-year time span of that area being flooded. As you can see, I want to move the screen a little bit. We have a body of water that's close to it. So in the 100-year time span is a estimate that this area will become a flood zone. So we would like to have that waterhead elevated so it won't have any type of contamination or anything. So that's why we asked for the wellhead to be elevated 2 feet above. So it will keep from being contaminated. So our client today, Mr. Madden, is going a step further to have the wellhead 4 feet above, just to be on the safe side.
And I assume, I know you probably don't have every flood in the last 100 years in the back of your brain, so I understand that, but I assume that there has not been any flooding in this area that has reached 3 feet in the last 100 years, to our knowledge.
That answer I cannot recall, but I will pass that on to my supervisor.
To our knowledge, there has not been a major flood zone elevation or, overflow in the last. The only thing I can think of is Millington, when that happened in Millington a couple of years ago. But our code stated we cannot allow a well to be in the flood zone. So that's the reason why it does say that it has to be at least 2 feet elevated.
All right, thank you.
Is the well going to be located somewhere near any breaches or recharge zones or any contaminant sources?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll have Mr. Madden to present to you all his plans for his well on his property. I apologize. Let me present to you Mr. Steve Madden and Mr. John Phillips. They're going to be presenting the 0 million property.
Good morning, thank you very much. I can figure out how to Zoom out here. Okay. My name is Steve Madden, this is John Phillips, we own this property. What you don't see when this aerial photo was taken is we've cleared close to 30 acres of that timber in that bottom land. These are the agricultural fields that are located just to the north of us in the Eagle Refuge. Okay, and I didn't realize there was gonna be I got a map here that shows that there's 2 wells located on this property. There are 2 wells located on the property to the north of us that are actually on that gravel road right there.
One of them's about right here. Another one's right there, you see the little gravel sticking out right there, there's a well here. There's a well right here.
There's one more to the south of us, and I think
Yeah, there's another well. I think it's right. About it.
Is that Benjastown, road to the right there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the road run up there. We bought this 120 acres as a farming recreational type piece of property. We started clearing the bottom area down there, like the fields were cleared along Eagle Lake Refuge and stuff. We're clearing, by putting in fields down there. And what the topo doesn't show is this area actually has ridges and hills and stuff in it down in the bottom. And this, the well site that we've chosen is at a 238 ground elevation currently. The floodplain is at 234. And that was through actually the health department's GPS readings that they found is 238 where we picked the site. What we want to do is put in a seal well to help irrigate crops, habitat for wildlife and stuff like that also. But the road access down into our property, which we've been approved, we actually own a construction company.
Madden Phillips.
Yes, and we built a road down into there, and you can actually drive your 2-wheel drive pickup truck if it ain't raining down to the site. Past that, we've done some clearing and built these fields, and the roads down to there, we've got to protect tractors and the planting stuff and stuff like that.
To the best of your knowledge, the other wells that are in the same vicinity, are they also Class A?
I know those wells go into the Memphis River alluvial basin. They're not going to the Memphis Sands. I think they're approximately 120 foot deep is what we're wanting to do. We're not wanting to go in Memphis Sands. We want to go down into Memphis River alluvial. And those elevations on those wells, which we actually got information on those also, those are actually at 230. One of them's at 230 and one of them's at 235. And that's actually up on the pipe that's probably pretty good on the ground. So those wells are actually below the flood stage, but I think they're sealed, which we'll want to put in a sealed well as well anyway. Because I know the 234 is a flood stage for 100 years, but as an engineer, we all know that's going to be surpassed at some point. Just don't know when. So we'll want to put in a sealed well. We would actually be where our site is for our well site. We are 4 foot above the floodplain thing. I know the map shows it all as floodplain, but when you look at the floodplain numbers and you look at our elevation where our well is on a hill, it's 238. And that's verified by the health department that it is a 238 elevation. That's now more. We're going to run this well off of. There is no power bottom, so if we ran off of standalone.
And over the next few years, we will clear more of that bottom to get more agricultural ground, but what we have now, we need to use that. And I think Ms. Adams brought her GPS. I have a picture and set it on the ground. Our elevation is 238. So I can't get back to what it's at, but it's FEMA's 234, but it will, like 2 years ago, it went over that a little. But they continually adjust that flood elevation. I saw it on that.
Just out of curiosity, what is your crop, your intended crop?
Well, every probably 3rd year we'll plant rice. But that will be a minimum, you kind of flood it, water sits in it. It's not something you continually irrigate. If we go through July and we have corn or soybeans there, we'll, irrigate a little bit, but, and then in the fall, we'll irrigate for wildlife habitat. So in an area, and we have it levied, we have everything, done there.
The actual well site is give up bearings here real quickly. It is about right about right within the corner is right there. Or, clearing fields. For all the way across the property. Here. This area right here. And just about this way. It's good bottom ground. Our access is this is actually a driveway in, and we intend to put a farm shed type building right in this area right here. The road just goes down off of, this is all high ground. This is the bluff right here. This is about 80 foot above the bottom. So we have high ground, and this goes down to the bottom top area.
There's another agricultural field to our south that was also.
So, I know in the past when we've, seen where wells are proposed and this is just for my clarification, flood zones, you see these very large, high pipes, again, that are physically 2-3 feet off of the actual, they don't specify the specific elevation of that ground. They're building their pipe, 2 feet tall, their access. So you're saying specifically that you're building your well, a sealed well on a 238-foot elevation, but that's the ground elevation of the hill that you're building the well. You're not planning on building it 4 feet above that 238.
We have talked to the health department ladies about it, and even though that's at 238, you're 4 foot above what FEMA calls flood stage.
Right, at 234.
So they had said, hey, if you can get that up a little bit. We said, okay, we can build a 4 foot pad of dirt that stays there, earth and dirt above it. Our well installers here, he'll come up 4 foot above that. So they can add, so that's 8 foot. So that gets us up,
Okay, that was my question. So you have the 238 elevation, which you built it up to 238, or it was already there? Okay, and then you're going to be building it 4 foot above the 238. I need to adjust your.
Zero, and then we're using a sealed wellhead. It'll be possibly 4 foot above that.
Got it. Thank you for that clarification. So your actual top of the wellhead elevation will be at 302. 238, 302. Right, doing 406, 306. Wow, where's my math today? Yes, that's what I was trying to get at.
We're at a
242.
Flood stage is at 230.
Thank you.
And we'll put a 4 foot pad that puts us at 242, which is 8 foot above.
Right, okay.
8 foot above the flood stage.
Yeah.
Although the ground, because it really doesn't show it, because they don't have like LiDAR on these areas. The topo's a little rough, but there is actually hills and stuff back in there in places. There's some ground that's higher than others, and what they just, they blanket put this is a flood area, but there are areas back in there that are actually out flooded. With the actual topos are planned elevations. Got it. Thank you.
If we took that into consideration to move it to that point, so we would actually, we're gonna have to run some pipe to get it to the where the areas of crop farm, because they are borderline.
1,000 foot pipe better. We could put it back there where you go be in the flood zone if we didn't want to put, obviously, we don't want well the flood in there. It's not good plan.
Wow. Shelby County, how accurate is your GPS? It's not too. Depends on what meter you're buying, but.
Thank you for asking that question. Our GPS, according to the owner's manual, is plus or minus 250 feet.
Yeah, so I want. Depends on what meter you're using. They vary widely for elevation shots that you're taking. So, I mean, if you're basing that 238 off that.
We went out to the wide open to the north on the refuge, took a fairly expensive, and I understand they're, the manual and it does, but we set handheld, and I got some photos of, we set a handheld and it says time elapsed, sit there an hour and 22 minutes. And the elevation came up to 234 or 230, 230 point something. And we did 2 locations. The other one was there, 50, it's on the screen of the GPS, 50 something minutes we allowed to get the elevation. So I know if you stick them down pretty quick, but I do know when we first bought this property last year, when the river came up in 1st of June, it was up real high. There were areas that we, coming off the bluff, we couldn't get to, but then the area where the well site was, you could take a boat over and get onto that knot. So, you know, that's, there's, like I said, they just say, okay, it's flood stage, we're not gonna shoot elevation. And we went back and tried to get an elevation, get it, but that's the closest we could get, but
How does
our neighbor to the north,
shoot it?
go ahead, sorry.
You had a surveyor actually shoot it yet?
No, we don't.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We had a survey the property, but I mean, if we needed to, we could actually set a exact elevation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
with the neighbor to the north of us, with their 3 wells, we know they're at least or below where we is not. We chose, like I said, we moved it almost 1,900 feet to get it to them. So that it's not on the same plane as the ones north of us.
I think it's important to note that they're in the right aquifer. And if by chance this well breaks, the water flows back to the river.
It's basically taken from the river aquifer, and when we release the water, it's going to the mid back into the river.
Haven't heard that unless any of my board members have any, fellow board members have any burning questions. Good luck with your farming operation. You know, we hope you're successful. And can I make a motion that we approve? Great, I'll make that motion that we approve this item.
I'll second.
The discussion for the motion?
Just a quick point, I do want to make certain that 4 feet's there, rather than that 2 that we've built it as.
I don't.
As per plan.
Our well installers here came with us.
Okay.
Sitting right here.
Well, so their application's in to build it at 4 feet? That's the only question I had. Oh,
I can't speak.
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional points for the motion? You take a vote?
Yeah, we're gonna call the roll. Mandrel. Yes. Heather,
Yes.
Jason,
Here,
that,
Yes.
is that a yay or nay? Tony,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
Frankie.
Yes.
Casey.
Yes.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yays. Are there anyone not called? I don't think so. Passes 7 yes, 0.
Don stated that he's 2 minutes away. So,
We have
Wait.
a short distance.
Wait, hold on. Do they know? They know about it? That's what it's on. Oh, okay.
Does he have to be present for us to just go through the report? I mean, there's a report where already been sent to him.
Mr. Azar, yes, he needs to be present. You all want to take a 2 minute quick recess? You can.
It started at 10:30. It's a small.
I've got it. I don't trust the bills. It ain't that important.
But I got it.
Shelby, see and help you guys.
The appeal code. According to Madden. They don't have to. And so they can come. In the report, they have to be straightforward. So that's basically what we got. You can ask her. Oh. It's been 17 minutes. And then this is your doctor. I'll be right. I think so. I'll get back to Veronica, that's for Rodriguez. So the he's the one that I'm. Right. Yeah, that's really good. Handle and I did about. Yes, exactly.
Everything's five places. I don't say too much, but as a group, separately, we talked about this, and I thought we thoroughly discussed this, but maybe we need to go back over it.
What did Chevy Chase say? Hey, I got.
Yeah, no mercy for people who are late. Inconsiderate people that translate. You can have this.
Hey, look at here. Hey, look at here.
There shows them.
My tools. And that kind of acceleration in it.
Badge.
You know, at 198,000 miles, it just doesn't have the same thing that. It's not the same. There's nothing weighing down the back. It's right now, you pay people weight back. Get it going. On the road. Yeah. It's really good. Get strong. The tires. Jam on the gas. It has that really nice like metal shape now, like like when it accelerates. It's
Really
just like a plate. I got the number 50,000.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Change the now. Other place, change the, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I got.
Yeah. Oh.
So maybe it'll.
Yeah, I got.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I don't know if I speak for everybody though.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I think that's apparently. Oh, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, okay, that's fine, I was just.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there a fine or anything for being late?
No,
You must have.
no, it's,
I like our meeting back to order. So, we're gonna move to other business. And I believe Catherine, you have something to present.
I do, yeah, just a little bit, Okay, so, we had, the representatives from the Groundwater Board, Shelby County Health Department, Protect Our Aquifer, and University of Memphis. Had a special meeting, to discuss the creation and implementation of the Shelby County Groundwater Protection Plan. This was a special meeting called at the last quarterly meeting. This first meeting acknowledged that much work has already been done by Protect Our Aquifer, Caesar, University of Memphis, as well as the Tennessee H2O project in the creation of a comprehensive groundwater protection plan. And so as we were discussing what we felt the immediate work was, it largely lies in identifying which parts of the already created plans can be implemented first. Based on core needs, building up the foundation of the Shelby County Health Department in order to carry out the long-term vision of the groundwater protection plan. So the top three needs and foundational issues that we identified during this meeting, well, one was the digitization of the Shelby County well records, the scope of work that needs to be done, a GIS online dashboard creation or incorporation into what's already there at the Shelby County Health Department. A wellhead protection program and monitoring well networks. This is for the smart planning of future wells and future land use in Shelby County. A lot of this information is already available, again, from different sources. Within Shelby County, a lot of work has been done in terms of mapping different zones of protection, of mapping where monitoring wells are. But we need to discuss with those entities how, if that information can be used by the Shelby County Health Department and the Groundwater Quality Control Board. Of course, if there's any cost to get that information or use that information. What could be the staffing needs at Shelby County Health Department in order to be a liaison between different informational avenues and the Shelby County Groundwater Board or the public. And then there was just a brief mention of it may include things like MOUs, memorandums of understanding. So some other things need to be fleshed out there. And then the third immediate need was funding sources. So again, once the immediate needs are assessed for the data digitization of the well networks, funding sources can then be identified and then move forward with requests, application, et cetera, whatever sort of that entails. So the two big actionable steps that we identified was the Shelby County Health Department will provide a budget report at the September meeting, the groundwater meeting. This will be the first budget with the new fee collection that has been in place. And then they are also assessing an online payment option as well. The second actionable step was there'll be an assessment of the scope of work needed to digitize, assessment of the scope of work needed at the Shelby County Health Department to digitize the well records that they currently have. And some, I think, some initial cost assessment, which will also be presented at the September meeting. So it really was discussed that, you know, there's a lot of really great things outlined in a groundwater protection plan, but we have to lay the foundation first in order to be able to implement a lot of those things that are in the protection plan. So one of the biggest ones that what we've been talking about here is really getting the digitization, mapping up to date in a usable format. That was my summary. If there were several people at the meeting, so of course, assuming if they have something else to add to that, there's something that we missed. Oh.
Amazing job.
Okay, who all was in attendance? Just so okay, so it was representing the health department, me, Sonia Owens, Angela Denovi, representing the board, Heather Oates, and representing Protect Officer was Sarah Houston.
And University of Memphis was Rodrigo.
From Caesar.
Yeah.
I think he's here.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Raven.
I just want to clarify one thing for our records, that it was not a special meeting in regards to the Open Meetings Act.
Oh, I thought about that as I was going through that.
Just for the record.
But it was a
Right.
very special meeting.
Yeah.
I did not get a summary of
The
the,
Groundwater Protection Plan Committee.
thank you.
Yes.
Well, I only have a comment. My comment was to, a word of appreciation for our liaison, the board member Holtz and staff for, taking this up. I know it's a busy time. It's particularly busy time for staff, I'm sure, over budget season. And for you to take on this extra burden, we definitely notice it. So appreciate that. Just a item for consideration, for staff and board chair, and don't necessarily have to, talk about this too much today, but we might consider just adding groundwater protection plan update as a reoccurring item on our board agenda. And we know that there may not be robust updates in every meeting, but that will at least force us to have that conversation every quarterly meeting.
Noted.
Is Mr. Azar present?
If not, I have one more.
Okay, great.
Was anyone able to review what John Fox sent to us? Yeah, I have to admit that I also did not
I did.
get a chance.
Very much. Just
Yeah, thank you.
I was hoping to see, board member Fox here today and thank him for this. It was very in detailed and, there are some reviews that I think would be more beneficial to just forward these, potential editings or add tos and add-ons to the board, the health department.
What is this concerning? Is this the?
So this is some of the proposed items to better clarify how the board will look at certain appeals and applications. And I don't know if is it also potential changes to the actual
Was it your bylaws?
what Shelby County has bylaws for, in terms of like ornamental well appeals.
Yeah, so it'll be
Yeah.
a change to the actual rules and regs. So
Yeah.
basically us clarifying the justification for. it.
Thank you, that was way better.
And
Its
so,
title is, excuse me, Council.
yeah, I was just gonna say we don't want to, email too much about our edits and deliberating over emails, but what you can do is send any edits to Ms. Owens as the health department, well, the board secretary. And then at the next meeting, we could actually put it on the agenda to discuss and actually vote on what those rules look like.
And he did follow those steps. He sent it to me and I sent it all to him.
Then I will send it to you,
Yes.
these potential edits. It's the proposed appeal evaluation guidelines was the title that Mr. Fox sent out. And it was very educational. It's very good.
Thank you for that.
Is
And
there any additional business?
I just wanted to clarify to all, I'm sorry, I just wanted to clarify to all the board members that we'll be discussing this proposed appeal evaluation guidelines at the September meeting. So if there's any comments, ensure that we'll look over it, send the edits to Sonia, and then we'll officially discuss it at the September board meeting. Just wanted to clarify for.
We need to
MSC.
make a motion for the protection plan idea, reviewing it quarterly. Frankie, or just,
I don't think it's good.
okay,
We
thank you.
know that we want to end on the agenda. We could add it into the portion.
Yes, ma'am.
I have another other business item if we're, still on other business. So, in the blueprint plan that protect our aquifer provided to us, there's an item on page 32 that's titled the county's largest water user. I think it's Draz-Lomka. There's some pretty significant words here about Draz-Lomka, and I would just like for staff, and there's no need for update at this meeting or anything, but I would like for staff to maybe provide update to the board on Draz-Lomka at some point in the future. It can be in a board meeting or in written format. And it's on page 32 of that, blueprint that they provided, to us and, it's essentially, it says it's, this is one of the county's largest water users and that only a small portion of their water is recycled. And that their well withdrawals are majority one-time pass-through. And the significant words to me, why I'm asking for some sort of update or briefing on this item is that it's in violation of the well code. And this is a report that we received from an outside organization, but as I reviewed that report, that rose to a level of concern for me. And there's no need for update in this meeting unless you'd like to provide one. I'm happy to, receive it any way you like. I think it's stress off. It's the former DuPont one.
Yeah, I have it here. That's what yeah, it's the Drasloka.
While we're on the topic, Frankie, what's the violation?
It says, I can read it to you, and I've not reviewed our well code to define this, but the language they said is, a small portion of their water is recycled, be used through cooling towers, but the majority of their private well withdrawals are one-time pass-through in violation of the health department's well code. So this facility was originally owned by DuPont. It's a very old facility. And it looks like this claims it was purchased in 2021. So I'm sure there's lots of nuance, with a facility like that. But when it's titled county's largest water user, and we're having so many other conversations around heavy water users, I think it behooves us to understand that issue a little bit better.
Could it be an update on the enforcement, how basically enforcement goes at the Shelby County Health Department for like what are the steps or like the SOP for enforcement for focusing specifically on large water users that do one-time pass cooling water. But could that be, I don't want to like make them have a lot of work, but because I think that's what it gets to basically is where is the enforcement, what's the enforcement status or how do they enforce it? What's their SOP for enforcement?
That's part of our rules and regulations. We would, just have a review of that.
And that could be, I know, at the special meeting with the committee, that was one of the things that was talked about in terms of foundational, also budgetary, things that, one of the things that would have to be, looked at and, put into place with any groundwater protection plan, essentially. So.
Thank you for the discussion. Mr. I'm sorry, I messed up your last name. Mr. Azar is here. So we're gonna go back to our appeals process.
Well, I'm sorry, London's gonna go. First, let me. Mr. Azar, I need you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but?
Got a second?
The second appeal is at 3049 North Reid Hooker. The applicant is Mr. Toufic Azar. Public water is available to the site per the LGW. The applicant requested to utilize a 4-inch case, 22 to 24 gallon incremental water production well. The applicant states the intended use of the well is to provide untreated water for agricultural, organic farming, educational, and environmental purposes. The lot is 15.1 acres and the well can meet siting criteria. The well is not in the flood zone. There is a body of water on the property and is greater than 1 acre.
This for late retention.
I inspected, Mr. Azar's property, at 3049 North Green Hooker Road. On May 11, 2026, I was able to pull up to the home on the property, which sits on 15.1 acres. The property is woody and spacious with 2 lakes. The proposed water well area requires Mr. Azar and I to also ride side by side ATV along a narrow route to the proposed water well site. It's located between the 2 lakes. The proposed well site is 232.3 feet from the property line, 446.8 feet from the right of easement, 330.2 feet from the building foundation, and it also is 305.9 feet from the septic tank and field line, which I'm going to later describe. The first big lake right here, the first lake, lake number 1, is a total of 182.4 feet. And lake number 2, which is the smaller lake, is a total of, I'm back, 182.4 feet is the second lake, the first lake is 160. I have to have it backwards. The second lake is 162.7 feet, and the first lake is 182.4 feet. The power source for power source will be the generator. The purpose for this water well is to provide untreated water to agriculture, organic farming, educational, and environmental purposes. The denial for the well was the determination for inadequate public water source to serve the location. MLGMW also could supply sufficient water to the location. I also want to go into detail once arriving right here. I'm sorry. Once arriving to the property, where I have listed where a septic system, the septic system has to be at least 100 feet away from the proposed water well. The septic system is right here, and as I entered the property, I saw the field lines away where the septic property is at, the septic system is located. So the field lines are close to this area right here. Mr. Azar proposed that he would like to have it in this area, and I encouraged him and recommend that it would not be at the time. So we both got on the ATV and kind of went around this witch area right here on a trail, all the way back in this area right here on the ATV. And this was the proposed area that I strongly recommend that he had his well to be listed. And we both agreed because of the sufficiency of the 2 lakes. So that's why I have marked on this diagram for you all. Sorry. This is where I have marked on this diagram for you all, so you all can see his whole property as one whole. Now this right here is just debris him clearing, but between the water well and this area right here, he'll go more in detail of the layout of the plans for his farm.
How far is the potential well away from the water source?
The well.
Yes.
From the water.
Public water.
The public water
Excuse
source. It is approximately more than 446.8 feet because of it's close to the way of the right of way of easement because it's right on the street.
The North Reid Hooker.
Yes, it's North Reid Hooker.
How far is the well from the gas station?
How far is the well from where?
The gas station?
The gas station? The gas station is actually, let me go back to the slide.
I believe that's a Marathon gas station.
So the gas station is up from his property. I'm sorry.
It's right
This is the
there.
gas station right here.
No,
Oh, it's right
yeah,
here,
it's right
sorry.
there, yeah,
Let
Marathon.
me, I'm going to larger looking for you. The gas station is up right here from his property.
Can you
It's
kind of
right-
pinpoint the well location on the assessor map? I understand it's not gonna be out there, it's not gonna be perfect. Yeah, no rush, sorry.
This is where the proposed well location is at,
Can you zoom out from that, or is that a snap?
the snap, but I can go back to and actually put that up for you.
Is the house on the property on public water?
The house on property is on public water. Okay, so where I have the arrow in. Yeah, so we're at. Ooh, I'm sorry. Okay, you see the gas station, the well's approximately right where I have the arrow in. On the north side of that.
Yeah, I think it's on the other side of it, cause it's between the lake, is it between the lake
Oh,
beside the
sorry.
house and the other creek, yeah. Right there.
It's right here. So it's approximately right there.
Will you click on the property next to the gas station, please?
Right here?
Yes.
Did you scroll down?
Yeah, please. I was looking for its, what it's owned. Industrial, commercial.
Okay, let me put that, I put properties.
The property to the right. But
Yes, I was just curious about both of them. Well, it's obvious. No, ma'am. It's that.
Just one.
No.
Go down.
You're almost there. I don't like that new login, by the way.
I don't, right, yeah.
The public information.
Right. You want to click this property right here?
No, man, the one that has a structure on it. Right.
Okay, this one right here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's right here.
Click on properties.
Assessment. Scroll.
Go down.
Come on, Dan.
Yeah.
Where you go? Did you do that? It's okay. It's all right.
There you go.
There you go, industrial.
Industrial.
Thank you. I knew it had to be commercial or industrial, one or the other.
Any additional questions for Shelby County? Thank you.
Thank you. And let me introduce you to Mr. Toufic. HR, he will continue the presentation.
Morning, everyone. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today and present our case for the well. The property is a very unique place. It's on a little over 15 acres of land. And we have two beautiful lakes on it. One is a good sized lake that's it's almost, I would say, 4 feet under where it's supposed to be. And it's our desire just to maintain the lake and also have another lake. So the water that we might get from the Department of Energy would not be enough for us to really number one, the installation of the pipes would take too long to get to the lake from the road. And also we would need a large amount of water to maintain it. The second main reason that several years ago, I married my wife, originally from Georgia, and she had asked me to do to plant a garden for her. And so I've never planted a garden. I decided that I was gonna plant a garden for her. And so this was actually my first endeavor in planting a garden. And I won't go into all the story. I didn't know a whole lot about it, but as I studied it, I fell in love in gardening. And so there's a really prime location in the property that we would love to do an organic farm in there, where we can plant strawberries and watermelon, cucumbers, and all organic. And for that reason, also we'll need unfiltered water to have an organic farm. And I raise my children, taking them to farms where they pick strawberries and things like that. So it's our desire also to offer public schools and different organization churches or to be able to come in if they want to bring their kids to pick up strawberries and things like that in that nature. So we also would like to educate them on how to farm, how to do an organic farming. So that's the purpose why we desired your permission to have a well on the property. And I believe it's gonna enhance, it's gonna be a great project for the community and great project for our county. And appreciate the opportunity to bring our case to you. If you have any questions.
Questions? About how big do you think the farming operation fields will be?
Yes, ma'am. We're hoping I mean, we plan on starting small. Probably we have a good 2 acres right now that we would like to start with, and then develop the property to be more of an organic farm. So we do have, but we hope to go up to 5 acres, to the 5 acres.
Do certified organic farms require water that is untreated in terms of the way that municipal water is treated?
Yes, ma'am. It's well, for it to be authentic organic, it has to be in unfiltered water. So this is really one of the main reasons we wanted to do the well.
So like organic certification requires that water be untreated with fluorine and untreated with fluoride?
Yes.
Thank you. Understood. Thank you. My other question, sorry, the lakes that are currently on the property, do you know if they are natural lakes or were they man-made at some point?
I'm really not sure, but there's the big lake is a beautiful lake. It's really down, so this would be the upper lake is smaller, it's manageable, but the bigger lake is really where it's water.
Have you looked into alternative ways, capturing rainwater, for example, as just for your organic farming purposes?
Yes, sir, but it would be a very risky. We would have, it depends on the rain season, how much water. Because of the lake situation, it just really help both the farm and the lake as well to have a well. So that would be if you all have something that we'd look at, but it depends if we have enough rain in the seasons. To be able to maintain it all year long, it might be a little bit difficult.
Thank you.
So,
I'm sorry, there's no time, we don't want other comments. Thank you.
I have concerns about the proximity of the gas station and the potential of possibility of leaking tanks from that gas station.
So we're about at least over 1,000 feet away from the gas station, and the land is then escalated.
So the gas station's above you,
No, we're above.
you're above the
Yes,
gas.
sir. And the gas station is at least 1,000 feet plus where we want to put the well.
And I think this is more of a, I think kind of same line of questioning, but I think this is probably more appropriate for, a question for the health department. Sounds like Mr. Azar's property is a beautiful property and he's not probably as familiar with the gas station. So do you see significant reach potential with, gas stations nearby wells? Is that something that you've looked at before?
So, yes.
No, sir. No, no, sir.
So if there was a known breach, that would come from EPA. And they monitor those monitoring wells if there was some type of breach. Now, I do know that Mr. Toufic's property is listed, zoned as a farm. So I don't know if that was from before, but the current classification of that is a farm. So I don't know if the farm was there first or the gas station was there first.
Are we aware of any leaking storage tanks? Is that something that we do in our due diligence, in advance of this, leaking gas station storage tanks?
So we are not aware of it. The EPA has a list that they put out of gas stations that do have potential problems.
I would like to, I'm sorry, Frank.
Yes, sir. No.
No, I would like to need some time to research that to see if there's any leaking and respectfully, 1,000 feet is fine. The water travels great distances in the stormwater runoff. Great distances.
So
Down the road that your property is on, then can travel where it wants to go. Just curious if the current lakes and little ponds that you have you had any testing done on them lately?
Well, when they first purchased the property, we did. There's great fishing in there, a lot of fish in there. So I took my children went fishing on them. It's really beautiful lake. The property is very nice. And if you see it fit, I'd be more than happy to move the well further to the other side of the lake as well. We can go 500 feet extra.
I know, one of the things that had been talked about, in terms of the wellhead protection program is looking at zone 1 and zone 2 protection areas around wells and proposed wells.
Agreed.
Those overlay districts, essentially. I haven't seen maps that have those overlay districts, but are those things accessible for us to look at? Is there any other information that the board can look at? Any other type of mapping? That will.
What I can do is check to see if there was a potential Superfund site in that area and get back with the board on those results. But and I can also check with EPA to see if they have any history on that particular location as far as leaking of the underground storage tanks.
If I may add, please, the property was old farming several years back. It was about around 60 acres and it was divided. And so they have, it's really ripe and excellent for organic farm. And I really believe it's gonna enhance project. I don't know if there's a project like that in the county where it's all organic and we're able to bring kids from public school to be part of it now. And the shape of the property where we want to put the well, it's kind of on an elevated place, so the water can run. If you look at the landscape of the property, it's going to go completely away from the gas station from 64. So there's a whole area. So, and it is 15 acres if you see fit that we can move another 1,000 feet. And I think little knowledge that I have about gas stations, so they're all the gas is in tanks, so everything is secure and we wouldn't be, we're so far away, we wouldn't be in any danger.
Mr. Azar, your project sounds remarkable and your property sounds beautiful and everything you're saying sounds so, great. I want to express that I have concern about just the proximity to the gas station and we don't have enough information in front of us where I feel comfortable voting on this item today, but that is not a reflection of what you shared with us today. With that being said, I'd like to make a motion to table this item to the September meeting. And pending,
Can you repeat your motion? I can hear you.
to table this item to the September meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Continue, I'm sorry.
No,
Vice Chair, please.
No, it has nothing to do with that. I think we're about to say the same thing.
Go right ahead.
So you're the one that first brought it up, so I'm assuming it's just to clarify the location of the well versus the proximity to the gas station and have some information potentially requested from Shelby County Health Department, from EPA, TDEC potentially, in order to have a better assessment of the potential for contaminant migration. Because it's not just about overland flow. When there's withdrawal from a well, it can actually withdraw the groundwater and bring any contaminants that are potentially in the groundwater to your well field. And so that is the information that the board is interested in looking into further prior to making a decision.
Would that be like a wellhead protection report showing maybe the cone of influence or some sort of information?
I think that one of the things that's gonna help us in research at TDEC is their tanks.
Right, they have
Check
a
it.
storage tank.
Yeah, have an underground storage tank, they're checked annually. To see if there's any recent leakage, any history of leakage. Just to clarify, that's all. And I want to reiterate what the board, I'm sure we all agree, and Frankie said, your idea, get involved with the youth, getting them involved in clean water and nature and organics. It's wonderful. Our young people need that. So I respect you for doing that.
So thank you. I've been in the ministry for 25 years and the impact on the community and things like that. Try to get our young people involved. And so,
Admirable.
yes, sir. Thank you.
A vote on the motion?
Mandrel,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Kimberly,
Yes.
Frankie,
Yes.
Casey.
Yes.
Anyone's name not called. Okay, motion passes 7-0.
We will see you in September. Thank you.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of the meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.